Welcome to Pit Pastor Barbecue. I'm Colby, your pit pastor. Today we're smoking up meatloaf. We're going to combine some ingredients together. We're going to put them in the refrigerator after I get them into a pan. We're going to throw them on the PitBoss 1150 and let them go for, it's going to take about 2-hour cook, but as soon as we're done with them, they are going to be so good. So stick around, you're going to enjoy these. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take about 3 pounds of ground beef and put it in a bowl. And then I've got 1 pound of pork sage sausage. I get this from Raider Quarter Farms. They're a local butcher in Locust Hill, Virginia. They put some great product out there. I pick it up from my farmer's market locally. Shout out to Raider Quarter Farm. They do a great job. Their pork products are unbelievable. So we're going to use one pound of their pork sausage. I got about a cup of breadcrumbs. We're going to go 2 eggs. I'll put the eggs in so that it'll hold it all together and it doesn't fall apart on us during the cook. Now we're going to mix in some Kosmo's Dry Rub Honey Chipotle Killer Bee. So we're going to put in about a 1/4 cup of it, give or take a 1/2 cup or so. And then Mississippi grit. So we're going to put in about a 1/4 cup of Mississippi grit. And then we're going to mix this together. We're going to add in about a cup of diced red peppers and about about 3/4 cup of chopped diced sweet onion. So I'm making 2 meatloafs. I'm going to just mix up the meat. I'm going to take half of it out, put it in a pan. Then I'm going to mix the vegetables in and do another one. We'll go ahead and mix this all together. We want to get the eggs mixed in, the breadcrumbs mixed in, and you want the sausage mixed around it as well. The best thing is to have it very well mixed together so that we have sausage all throughout and not just in the middle. Now the sausage just really gives it just some more flavor to it. Add some fat, and where there's fat, there's flavor. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix in our sweet peppers. And we're going to mix in our onions. And you're just going to give that a good mix as well. You want the vegetables mixed throughout. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in to the second pan, and we're just going to form it into the second pan. We're going to take these in, we're going to put them in the freezer. They're going to be in the freezer for, like I said, about 30 minutes before we put them on the smoker. We're using the PitBoss Pro Series 1150. We're going to set it at about 300 degrees. We just let it cook and let it ride. We'll check it after about an hour. So we got the PitBoss Pro Series 1150 coming up to temperature, and what I want to do is I want to get some smoke on the meatloaf. So I'm using a smoke tube, and inside the smoke tube I've got PitBoss brand fruit blend pellets, and I put it about halfway full because it's not going to be a real long cook. If you're doing something like a pork butter, you're doing something like ribs where it's going to cook longer, you want to fill it up a little higher. So what I do is I drop one of these starter cubes, drop one in there and light it, and then it will light the pellets up, and then once the pellets are lit, then you're going to get a good smoke coming out of this fire tube. So we got the Pitmaster Pro Series 1150 up to temperature, running about 300. Temperature came down when I opened the lid, but running 300. So what I want to do before I put these on now, I've got them on a cookie sheet lined with tin foil. That just makes it easy to clean up, and it's on a cooling rack. Before I put them on here on the smoker, I want to put another light coat of the Honey Chipotle Killer Bee from Kosmo's. And so I'm just going to put a light coating on, and that's just going to cook right in and just give it some extra flavor. And so now we're just going to set this whole tray and everything right in the center, and we're going to let it cook. Now we're going for an internal temperature of 160. So it may take After an hour, I'll come out here and I'll check the temperature, and I'll make sure that it's sitting in that area that I'm ready for. Probably spin them a little bit, and I'll put some probes into them so I can monitor the temperature. But I want it to run internal temperature of 160. That's when it's done. So when it gets to about 155, we'll pull it out, we'll glaze it with some barbecue sauce, we'll put it back in there for the last 10-15 minutes or so, and we'll get them cooking. Now I want to get smoke on them, so I took my smoke tube and I got it going on here, and I'm just going to lay it off to the side here so that the smoke will roll across the meat and go out the exhaust. So we're going to shut the lid, get these things cooking, and we will be back in about an hour just to see where we're sitting temperature wise. So while we wait for the meatloaf to get up to temperature here, I want to bring the pastor into Pit Pastor Barbecue. We see a lot of crazy things going on in today's world, and I think that a lot of stuff is happening because the church doesn't take God quite as seriously as he should. And I think as Christians, we should be leading the way, leading the charge on that. And so here's what I want to read to you today from Ephesians 5, starting in verse 1. Therefore, be imitators of God as dearly loved children, and walk in love, as Christ also loved us and gave himself for us, a sacrificial and fragrant offering to God. I just want to encourage you today to be imitators of God, to walk in love. Walk in love as Christ loved us. He gave his life for us. He thought you were so awesome that he said, you know what? I'm going to give my life up for you. I hope that changes your life. I hope that changes your vision of who God is. This is a God that loves. Yes, he's a vengeful God, but he's a God that loves us so much that he gave his son to die on the cross for us. I hope you'll listen to that so that you can see how much God thinks of you. Okay, so we've been sitting here at about an hour, a little less than an hour, and I just wanted to come out and check the internal temperatures. Remember, we're trying to get a 160 internal temp, and so we want to see where we're sitting right now. They look really good. It's sitting about 115. Come back out here and check them probably in about a half hour just to see where they're sitting, see how they're cooking, and then we'll get back and check it out again. All right, so we just checked got the probe going on here, and it says that it's sitting at 153. So we're going to put some Sweet Baby Ray's sweet Vidalia onion barbecue sauce on it, and we're going to let it kind of get tacky, and we'll brush this on here real good, and we'll just let it tack up and get sticky, and it will be done. It's only got about 7 more degrees to go, and it will be finished. All right, so we're sitting here at just a little under 2 hours. We're about an hour and 50 minutes, 54 minutes. They were at 160. Real quick recap of what we did. We took about 3 pounds of ground beef, 2.5 pounds of ground beef, and a pound of the ground pork sausage from Raider Quarter Farms in Virginia. We mixed that together along with a cup of breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, about a 1/4 cup of Swine Life Mississippi grit, and then we also mixed in about a 1/4 cup of Kosmo's Honey Chipotle Killer Bee. We mixed that all together. We put it in loaf pans with some saran wrap. We put it in the freezer for a little bit, got it out, put it on the smoker, ran it at 300, just under 2 hours, and now we're going to cut it open and we're going to dig into it. So these here are phenomenal looking, phenomenal smelling. And when we got to about 150 degrees, we put the Sweet Baby Ray's sweet Vidalia onion barbecue sauce on top, and we let it glaze up for the last 10 degrees that it cooked. So I'm going to take a bite, tell you how good I did. That right there is a good meatloaf. Listen, you can do this on a pellet smoker, you can do it on a gas grill, you can do it on a charcoal grill. You just get your temperatures at 300 and let it ride. A little bit, you just got to keep the internal temperature to 160 without burning your meat. You don't want to do that. So, hey, this is Pit Pastor Barbecue. Thanks for joining me. If you like the channel, subscribe to it. Hit that bell so you can be notified whenever I post another video, and share it with your friends. Let them know, hey, regular guy that loves barbecue and loves Jesus. God bless you and have a great day.